Leslie Brown.
Okay. And when did you first come to MCC?
I had the joy of being hired by Dr. Lowe and Fred Ramey in 1974. 73, 74, I think it was 74.
Was there a search committee at that time?
I honestly don't know. I had not taught a class here, but Fred Ramey was interviewing people, and I was interviewed by him. He hired me. I did not go through a search process, as I recall, and I had the joy of being hired by him after I met Dr. Lowe. And then he said, I have the perfect roommate for you, and that was Judy Schwartz. We both taught in the business department, and we have been best friends for life.
Okay.
In fact, when we had a chance to move into the new campus, when we did at the Lowe Building, we had a chance to have our own offices. We wouldn't split up. So we were in a closet size of an office together for 24 years.
How did you hear about the position at the college?
I really don't remember. Somebody must have told me that there was an opening, and I applied for it.
What was the college like in 1974 when you began?
It has been the same since then, where there's a feeling of camaraderie, closeness, a sense, an energy that to this day when I walk on board, and I've been retired maybe 13 years, I still feel in the corridors. There's just an eclectic group of people that had a vision. There's a lot of vision. There was a lot of creativity. It was just a joy to be in the classroom and teach.
Who were some of the people who played an important role in your formative years here at the college?
I'd have to say Fred Ramey. Dr. Lowe, of course, he just so inspired us and with his vision for the college campus. And I think the strong foundation he set here to this day has made MCC what it is today. We've built upon that with the help of really great people that were on board. Chuck Please for one of them, and has done a lot to make this campus what it is.
Could you elaborate a little on Fred Ramey's importance?
Fred Ramey, I don't think the man slept. I think he had ideas morning, noon, and night. I can recall phone calls on a Friday night saying, Leslie, I have this great idea now. And he'd call Mike Heisa. He'd call different people in various departments of the division with his ideas. And, of course, Monday morning we had to run with him. He never stopped believing in this campus, believing in what the campus could do, believing in what it offered to the community. In fact, all of his children went through MCC. We have named Ramey Drive after this man who had such inspiration. And his devotion to the campus was, I think, second to none.
What were some of the courses that you taught when you came to the college?
I taught all the office procedural classes. I had accounting was one of the first classes, another class that I taught. I taught medical office procedures, that segment of the campus courses. And there were so many. My favorite was managerial communications. I think what I loved a lot of all my classes, but especially that one, because I had students from 18 to 80 in my classes. And I learned more from the students in my class than I think they learned from me. They just, I'll never forget a woman I had who was 80, and she had to give an oral report. I require that of my students. They did a research project, and at the end of it, they had to each give a 5-minute presentation. And I'll never forget that woman standing up, and she commanded, just by her presence, commanded the attention of these 18 and 22-year-old kids. She so inspired them and motivated them with, her experiences that she had throughout her lifetime. And I think that's part of the joy of being here at MCC. You have that energy generated by the age levels that are here.
So when you were teaching, clearly there was a diversity of age ranges.
Very, yeah.
Okay. Now, you were also involved in the wine auction, weren't you?
Yes, along with, I guess, initially 10 of us.
Were you there in the first year?
First year, at the beginning, when Glenn Lemire and Pat Mastretta came to me and said, we have this idea generated by, oh my God, what was his name? Peter, yes. Peter Negrola had this wonderful idea about raising some money through athletics, for athletics. And he came to Glenn Lemire and Pat Mastretta got a group of us together, an assortment of people who collectively could help make this happen. And that's what we did. And because of the creativity on campus and because of the variety of talents, we were able to make an event such as the Evening of Fine Wines possible. We're going into our 20th year, hoping this year to raise at least $200,000.
So you've been with us since day one?
Since day one.
Now, you obviously have retired from the college. Why do you continue to be involved in the wine auction?
I'm also on its MCC Foundation. And when I walk through the doors and I see what happens here, how can you not be involved? I think from day one, I felt it coming in here and can't quite let go. I don't want to. It's a great group of people.
Tell me some of the accomplishments that you're most proud of during your tenure here.
Well, the Navy and Fine Wine is one of them because of what it did to generate the treasure that MCC is to the public and to the community, far-reaching than just Manchester, but beyond Hartford. I think the Navy and Fine Wines does that. It showcases the college, and I'm proud to have been a part of that collectively. It never would have happened without the collective abilities of so many talented people. I'm proud of the division that I helped, this department that I helped develop within the division. I'm proud of the students that I have had and the students that I run into and the students that are still in contact with me. And I have had some of their children, and I hear from them and now their grandchildren, one of which is I ran into yesterday at Macy's, one of my earlier students who's now a grandmother and still talks about that Mandiola class that we had many years ago. So that I have such a sense of pride of being a part of this institution that, as you can see, I'm here today to tell you about it.
Are there any anecdotes or funny incidents that you can recall in terms of your time at MCC?
Well, many, but the ones that I can talk about, down at Hartford Road when we first used to, we'd come in the morning, coffee would be made, there would be sealed grout, there would be Janine Welch, and there would be Marie Solomon. Marie eventually became the assistant to the president. Coffee would be made, and we'd all be talking, starting our morning and our day. And there would be funny stories. There would be Art Guinness, who was in the marketing department. Brilliant, brilliant man. And there would be Sid Lipshires, who taught economics. One a staunch Republican, the other a staunch Democrat. And between classes, they debate all day. And at the end of the day, of course, rendezvous at Hartford Road Cafe for an after-work cocktail. There'll be times when they'd all go up to the roof, which was with Al Ritchie. We were not allowed, no, we didn't smoke, but some people did. They go up on the roof to have their cigarette in between their classes and come on back down. Oh, there would be the time when I was teaching a class, and Art Guinness, who taught marketing. Bob Manning used to have, in the Hartford Road campus, the art department had a display. They were in the bookcases, the glass cases all the way around, and he would change it on a monthly basis. One particular time, he had a display, and it was an egg basket with eggs in it, and they were all so proud of all of their artwork. This particular one had real eggs in it, though, and over the weekend, the egg had exploded. So when we all walked in the front door that Monday morning to teach, the aroma was not very pleasant, and that was one of the funny times of many.
So we've got an aromatic egg story.
An aromatic, yes.
How about one more story?
One more story was when one of the displays, oh God, there's so many I can go on and on, was when one of the displays was hanging laundry from one top of, there was a big stairwell that went up to the second floor where the classes were being taught, and there was a laundry line strung with rather intimate pieces of apparel, and it was part of the display. And I remember Art coming into my class and saying, "Mrs. Brown, your laundry is dry."
At what point did you move from Hartford Road to the East Campus?
I was never on the East Campus, the old trailers.
You never made it there?
No, because we chose to stay where we were. We stayed where we were on Hartford Road until the low building was built. And that's when I had a chance to have my own office, but of course would not leave Judy Schwartz. The two of us shared an office together.
So your office was on Hartford Road. Did you have classes on the East Campus?
Yes.
I see.
We'd go back and forth to classes. Didn't mind the commute. We rather liked being in our little intimate group down on Hartford Road.
I'm sure there was a certain level of camaraderie there.
There was, and throughout the campus there was wonderful camaraderie. Lois Ryan used to on East Campus on, I think it was Friday afternoons, and her at 3 o'clock when classes were out of session for a little bit, would have a gathering of people. Anybody could come in no matter what division or department they were in, and we'd all have a coffee get together. And that happened all the time, and it was a wonderful opportunity just to connect. I remember faculty senates where we would rant and rave, and everybody would, voice their opinion, and you'd think some people were staunch enemies, but they were not staunch enemies. We just all cared for the common good of the cause, and then afterwards we'd rendezvous at the Hartford Road Cafe for an after-dinner drink once in a while.
Can you describe some of the changes you saw at the college from 1974 onward?
I think, for me, one of the biggest changes was technology. From the old days of working with the typewriters to the complete, the computerization on campus. Huge, huge difference in technology. Huge. Just walking into the smart classrooms now when I have a tour on campus, when I see the language labs, when I see what happened in the business division, when I see how everything's taught via computer and the smart boards and all that, drastic change. Happy. Good change.
Did you notice any changes in terms of student population or faculty?
I think with student population, at some points, depending on the economy, different levels of students are here. When there's more of a recession, then you'll get more people that are older who have lost their jobs, who come back to further their education by taking classes. And then when the economy is really good, then you're getting more students that are right from high school. I think that's happening now, right from high school who are taking their classes. Instead of going on to four-year institution, they start here at MCC.
If you were talking to someone who was just hired by the college to begin their teaching career this coming fall, what advice would you give that person?
What advice would I give that person? I don't know, just enjoy the moment because every moment is precious on campus. There's wonderful people here. Get involved. Don't get involved in too many committees at first because the primary goal is to teach. And sometimes you'll want to get more involved in more activities because there's an energy there in all of them. And you want to be a part of it. But your classes come first and get involved with that. Then definitely participate. You would have to, and, whether it be club organizations or faculty involvement.
Anything else you'd like to add?
What? I have a little thing that I wrote many years ago when was asked to write a statement about MCC, and I guess it sort of is a summation of how I feel about this institution and maybe why I'm still involved with it. And many of us as retirees, in fact, many of us have retired and moved on down part-time into Florida, but we're still a connected group even down there. But I called it the heartbeat of MCC. And something like Manchester Community College is a place that lives, it breathes, and has a heart. You can feel it. It's beat in the corridor, in the classroom, in the offices, in the Learning Center, if we still have that, I don't know, in the Cheney Dining Room, which has been expanded into a beautiful facility now, in all the offices, in the Program Center, and even on the playing field, because they're so accomplished nationally. We've grown so much with athletics, and that's a wonderful draw here. You can hear it in the voices that used to be then of Sally and Grace as they monitor the switchboard, which we don't have, but I remember the switchboard being in the heart of the old trailers down on the East Campus, and you'd walk through the door and there'd be Sally and Grace monitoring the switchboard. A call would come in, and instead of picking up the phone to call somebody, she'd just yell to the individuals because we were all there. I mean, the rooms were all there, and that was always fun. I see it on the welcoming face of Jan Brindell. She was the head of she registered students, and she just welcomed them all with a smile. She did the best she could to help every student there. You see it glow in the photography darkroom where Cincho Fiera taught his students how to see. My office was next to Cinch's, and I would be amazed at the students that would come in and see him. They'd sit on the floor waiting to speak to him to get help and assistance with their photography classes. He so inspired me by what the students, they were aglow when they'd walk out of talking with him, that I took a summer class, and that's how I got involved with photography. If it wasn't for Cinch. So he did a lot. I feel in the teaching and encouragement of outstanding professors, and so many to name that I won't even begin by saying that we have so many talented people here that could have been in other places because of their talents, but they chose to be here. And I'm sure you're interviewing them. The list is so long. Know it in the caring of the counseling center, the placement office, admissions office, child development center. We don't have a nurse's office now, but I think they're putting one back on. Library, financial aid office, AVT lab where I taught, the instructional media department, which is all of you now. That's grown immensely, and it's heartwarming to see that. Observe it in the dedicated support services of special people we had like Janine Welch and Jan Christensen and Seal Grout, and in so many others. Sense it in the helpfulness of the security and maintenance staffs, and encounter it in the efforts of the continuing ed, alumni, and student activities. MCC is a place that offers hope, confidence, direction, transition, success, and fulfillment. It's a place whose mission it is to address the needs of the community. There is a course or a program that can make a significant difference regardless of one's ability or age. You know it works. At graduation, you feel it in the handshake of the 21-year-old who says, MCC has given me the skills and knowledge to take on new challenges, of the 45-year-old who says, I am ready for that career change or promotion, and of the 75-year-old or plus who says, I always knew I could do it, and of the student who overcame tremendous obstacles to succeed. You know, I remember coming back from college. I was, I think, a sophomore, and my mother, I lived in Manchester, and my mother, we were at dinner. After dinner, my mother was reading the Manchester Herald, and she opened up the front page, and she goes, look, Manchester has a college, a community college. She goes, someday I hope to take some classes. She was never able to do that, and she worked all her life. When she was in her 70s, she came to MCC. She took her first class. It was with Ray Strickland. It was a writing class, and she glowed. And from then on, she took management classes. She took some business classes, some computer technology classes. And it was a joy to see that. And my dad, who was retired in the hospitality industry, came and volunteered his services in the kitchens helping out. And it was joyful. It was joyful. The Older Adults Association is very active. There's so many things on campus here that benefit so many. I guess that's why I'm still involved. Don't want to say not to be here.
Sounds good. Anything else, Leslie? About your job, colleagues?
Oh, my colleagues, we're good friends. There's so many wonderful people here. We're a family. We're a community and a family. I think I wouldn't hesitate to pick up the phone and call somebody from years ago. And when we don't see anybody and we see each other 10 years later, we're connected as if we just saw each other yesterday. Toby Tamarkin is one of them. We stay connected. I know she's coming in for an interview. Judy Schwartz, as I said, we've been connected forever. Pat Long, Pat Cook, Pat Perns, the whole group of us in the business department, we're such a tight family. And I think every division on campus was a tight family. And I remember in the division that you were in, when you would have your the weekends, those specialty humanities weekends. You know, every department offered something special and unique. It was an eclectic group of people, but the camaraderie was very tight.
I'm sure you have colleagues who were at other colleges where the camaraderie was not as tight.
Yes.
What do you think? Is there something in the water here?
I don't know. I guess from Dr. Lowe on down, you know, he just hired all the right people, and the chemistry was so great, and it made the foundation what it is, that it's just continued that way.
Very good. Chuck, is that a wrap?
That's
a cut. No, I think it was very good. I'm glad you read the passage. I'll ask you about art.
I can say I'm excited for the future with Gina Glickman as its president.
I'll say you worked under two presidents, House President Glickman.
Pardon me?
I'll say that you've worked under several presidents, House President Glickman.
Okay.
Okay, but we're rolling. I know you were close to Art Guinness. Can you talk a little about Professor Guinness?
Oh, Professor Guinness was just wonderful. He was an absolutely brilliant man. And I would have to say that one of the nicest things he said was, we're at MCC, he says, we get paid to do this. He said, I love teaching so much, I can't believe I get paid to do something I love so much. So that's really, in essence, I think how many of us feel on campus, that even though for most, salary is not commensurate of what we do, and many of us work long hours, morning, noon, and night, giving above and beyond because we care so much, but we get paid to do something we love and put in a lot of extra time because it's an energy that's unsurpassed. I think that's what you feel when you walk through the car. You'll see it at the wine auction. You'll see it the energy of the students. You'll see it in all the faculty that are involved. And I think that's what's kept this institution. And I'm especially excited with Dr. Gina Glickman as its new president, because she has that energy and she has that feeling for MCC, and it's a beautiful thing to see. And I see the flow again of the uniqueness of the treasure that MCC is.
You've also worked under a number of different presidents. Can you talk a little about Dr. Glickman?
Dr. Glickman is
Dr. Gina.
Dr. Gina Glickman. I think she's got that caring ability. She's her devotion to MCC in such a short period of time has so impressed me and many others. She's brought on board many people who had retired but felt renewed with the energy that she has sparked again in them, that they've come to be a participant back on campus with MCC. I've seen her in the business community with people who begin now to sense what MCC is all about, who were never on this campus before, who are now involved. And you'll see in the wine auction how this year again we've grown some more, and next year they anticipate it to be even higher. It's because of what she's done, and from the top down she's made a considerable difference in generating that enthusiasm that's so very special to MCC.
Very good. I think that's a wrap.